you might be wondering, what is the difference between an F250 versus F350? And it's actually harder to find out what the differences are than you might expect. This is one thing that I don't appreciate with manufacturers not giving detailed specs with their vehicles. But I'm gonna try to explain the actual differences as far as I've been able to tell with these trucks. If you know of anything more, feel free to mention it in the comments. So number one, the body of the F250 versus F350. If you look from the outside, the only thing you're gonna see that's different is this, the badging, and that's it. It's the exact same body. The interior is exactly the same. It's just gonna vary depending on trim levels that you get and options and features, but they're all the same. You can option them out however you like to on the inside. So the frame of the truck is the backbone, and it's the most important part. And you would think that the F350 would be different, but it's not. It's the same. The front axle between the F350 and F250, it's exactly the same. It's a Dana 60 either way in the four-wheel drives. You can get the exact same gear ratios and everything. The engines are exactly the same. You can get a 6.2 liter gas engine or a 7.3 liter, which is new for 2020, or you can get the 6.7 liter diesel engine. Now, the first of the differences is the transmission. If you get the 6.2 liter F250, it's gonna come with a 6R100G 6-speed torque flight transmission. Now, in the older versions of the truck, the 2017 through 2019, you would get the heavier duty version of that same 6-speed transmission. So it's the 6R140 transmission, which is the same that they use behind the diesel engine. Now, in the 2020 and newer trucks, all of the F350s come with the 10-speed transmission, which is a 10R140, and that's gonna be behind all F350 trucks. Now, in the F250 line, you can only get the 6-speed if you get the 6.2 liter. All the rest of them are gonna have that same 10-speed transmission. The rear axle is another one of the differences. Now, in the 17 through the 19 trucks, between the F250 and F350, you're gonna find that Sterling 10.5-inch rear axle that they've been building or using for 2 decades now. And that was found behind the gas engine. Now, if you're in the diesel, that's gonna have the upgraded Dana M275 axle, which has a slightly larger ring gear at 10.8 inches. Now, when it gets to the 2020s, it got a little bit more convoluted because they don't tell you what you're gonna get. But best I've seen so far is that if you get the 6.2 liter, you're gonna get the Sterling axle, and that's true in F250 or F350 from what I've been seen. Now, if you know differently, let us know. Now, if you're getting the 7.3 liter or the diesel in either the F350 or F250, it's gonna come with that upgraded Dana axle. Now, both axles, you're gonna get the same gear ratio options and the same locking differential options as well. Another one of the differences, and this is the most significant, is the rear springs on the F250 to the F350. Now, the F250 trucks come with a 3-leaf pack, whereas the F350 come with a 4-leaf pack. And depending on the year, they change the lift block height as well. So it gives you slightly more carrying capacity. Now, you can change the leaf springs on either model depending on if you order things such as the camper package, which changes the load on it. So it's somewhat of a difference, but somewhat of an option at the same time. But that is one of the biggest differences right there is in the leaf pack. The other difference is the front coil springs are slightly different depending on the F250 to F350 configuration. The next difference you'll see is in the sticker. So this is gonna show you your cargo capacity between the F350 and F250 trucks. Now, because the F350 trucks have the little beefier spring pack, different lift blocks, little different front springs, that adds weight to them. So they actually weigh about almost 100 pounds more than what exact same spec F250 truck will weigh. So, but the other difference with it is the F250 trucks keep the gross vehicle weight rating under 10,000. So the reason for that is because some states designate trucks with a GVRW over 10,000 as commercial. So in some states, an F350 is actually a commercial vehicle, which requires different registration and insurance. So that's really one of the biggest reasons for the F250 truck versus F350 is for that one change, which is with the sticker on it. And that's the biggest change really with these trucks. So why did we choose an F250 versus F350 truck? Well, the first reason is the F250 costs less money. Not a lot, but it's about $1,000. Second is that we wanted the most proven drivetrain setup that they offered, which in this configuration with F250, we get the older Stirling axle, we get the older 6-speed transmission, and of course the smaller 6.2 liter engine. So it basically was a configuration that worked well for us. The second reason was we really don't need a sticker that says a higher number. There's no reason for us. We're gonna put a camper on it, but realistically, a sticker doesn't mean anything to us. Second is that we're gonna replace all the stuff, for the most part, the F350 truck gave you. So the rear spring pack, the front coils, we're changing them for additional height and performance. And so that was really not a factor at all. And the badging on the side, I could care less. So for us, it didn't make a difference. Now, for you, it might make a difference. Maybe if you're planning on keeping those rear springs and you want that higher rating, you know, that might be the truck for you to go up to an F350. It's a really small cost difference, and it could be great because it gives you a little bit higher tow ratings and a little bit more bed capacity. Now, you just want to check in your local state where you're going to register it and see if there's going to be any cost difference and if it's worth that cost difference for you. So that's the main difference between the F250 to the F350. And the only other thing I'll add to that is if you want a dually truck, you're going to be an F350. There is no dually F250, so that automatically gets you to an F350. So hope that was helpful if you're shopping between an F250 and F350. If there's anything I missed out on or any additional information you'd like to add, feel free to mention in the comments below and help out whoever else is looking. Otherwise, we appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for our upcoming videos. We have some good stuff to come. Thanks so much.